Good morning, everyone. So I want to set the scene for you about what I do when I wake up in the morning. I get a cup of coffee and I open up all the tabs for the various different news outlets, YouTube pages, all these various places that I go to have a look at news, to sort of catch up on what's been going on, and kind of 9 times out of 10 it's depressing. You know, you're reading about people having to go at PewDiePie because he does or doesn't. I mean, he's given money, but whether he means it or he doesn't mean it, and I'm like, okay. Then you go to various YouTube channels, they're telling you about every franchise you ever loved is dying, and you're just like, oh my god, the world is an awful place. And that's just entertainment, let alone the rest of it. So, when you find a nugget, a little gem, a little piece of gold, it's nice to talk about something positive. And that's what I want to talk about. The Outer Worlds is not a game that has been on my radar. It's not one where I'm thinking, this is where I want to be, this is a game for me. But just the pure attitude of the people involved is kind of changed my mind. I'm thinking, I might give this a look now. So let's delve into this. In this article, they talk to Megan Starks, okay? And she is the narrative designer for The Outer Worlds, which is an RPG coming from Obsidian. Now, the article is huge. I will put a link in the description down below. I'm not going to read all of it. I will kind of paraphrase bits and pieces. There's certain gems in there that I really do want to read. So the kind of interview starts off with basically asking about the fact that Obsidian part of Microsoft, and how does it feel to be part of, you know, having this new parent company. And basically saying, it's great, it's fantastic, they're really supportive. What you would expect. And then, are you thinking long-term plans? So, are you thinking that this is going to be a franchise game? And actually, do you know what? I wasn't going to. I was going to skip over this. But I am going to delve into this because one of the answers is actually really good. So, are you already thinking about a long-term plan for Outer Worlds as a franchise? I guess it depends on if people like the game. Yes! Correct answer. The rest of it's a huge thing talking about different games liked, Fallout IP, that kind of thing. But I love that that's the first answer. And that's what sparked my interest in this. Not something I would have normally reported on, but reported on as if I'm a professional reporter. Grim, please, come on. Me and you know the truth, son. So I looked at this and I thought, actually, I might want to just talk about this because I love this attitude. And I'm only on sort of the second question. I'm loving this attitude. And it only gets better. I will completely spoiler alert this now. And I will say 100% read the article down below. But I'm already loving this. So, we then get into the nitty-gritty. The stuff that just weighs me down like syrupy treacle gloop poured upon my head. Which is the political angle of everything. We have to, apparently everything has to be politically charged. And it's just, oh. So this is what I want to get into. This is what just gives me hope. And it's the same as my Disney video that I did yesterday about Fox Next. And just the whole, when Disney don't want to get involved in something, it's generally, it's sign for hope. And this just yet piles upon that. This is more good vibes. So, there are some comments recently about the game not being politically charged, which caused a reaction among some fans. Does it frustrate you that games echoing real-world themes seem to be taboo among some parts of the gaming community? Now we get to the response. I think everybody has their opinions on this, but first and foremost, we are making a game for entertainment. Let me just let me bask in that. It's the most ridiculously simple answer, but it's one that nobody gives. It's one that everybody overlooks. Yeah, you're making a game for entertainment. And then it only gets better. We want it to be escapism. We want it to be fun, enjoyable experience for players. Why has that become such a difficult thing nowadays? Why has that become something so hard for people to get? Is that it's not about whether the character's male or female, whether it has a certain political leaning, whether it's this, whether it's that, whether it's symbolizing something deeper underneath, or it's a meaning about existential. No, away. Do you know what? The rest of us people, us little people, gaming journalists and everybody else, us little people, do you know what we do? And I don't mean I'm one of the gaming journalists, I mean us. I'm trying to talk to the gaming journalists here. Because they seem to miss this fact. Us little people who just go around doing our daily lives, what we want to do is pay for our houses, pay for our food, and stuff like that. And then we want a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of escapism in this world. Because the world's pretty crappy. Okay, 9 times out of 10. When your boss is giving you crap, or you just had a rough day, you want to just put on a game that you enjoy and you can just escape into, whether it's with your friends, by yourself, whatever. You want to just be a hero, a villain, doesn't matter. It doesn't reflect on who you are as an individual, it's just a bit of fun. And it's fantastic to see somebody understand that that's what gaming's meant to be. Oh, I'm actually buoyed by this. I'm actually really pleased that there are still people out there. And it seems ridiculous to say this, but it's just fantastic. It's just, so good. So it carries on. Okay, but because we did make it a dystopian society, any real-world universe has to be rooted in these types of things. So of course there is going to be elements of politics in the game. Yes! Of course, to have an emotional attachment with something, to be immersed in a world, you have to understand the rules. You'll often hear this about horror films, is that you have to set some semblance of rules in that world so that people can relate. They can understand the rules of the game. You know, for such as zombies can only stumble and shuffle about, but there's lots of them. So the risk, the danger of zombies is you're going to get overwhelmed. That's kind of a universal thing that we get. So when you have a zombie that can sprint around, it throws people out. Like, oh, you changed the rules. I don't quite get it. So yes, of course, the easiest way to make us immersed in a world is to have elements that we understand. Politics, strife, conflict, stuff like that we get. We understand that from being human beings, so we get that. But what they're saying is that's not the important aspect. You're missing the point. If you think that the politics in the game are an issue, they're not. They're just there to flesh the world out. Because the last thing we want is, you know, weak storylines where they're too scared to touch anything. This is good. But it's not the driving force. The fun, the entertainment, the escapism is. And then the next question, which again is always asked of such things. Do you think it's important that there are elements of politics in game narratives? Answer, yes. Because I think you want to immerse people in the world and have the feel like a real universe that exists. So of course you want to be convincing, even if we are talking about it to the extremes, so that you make absurdist, humorous experience. So just, you know, if you're going to have the left, make it really to the left. You're going to have right, make it really to the right. But make fun of both. Make fun of everything. So the point, you're not trying to make something political, you're just making something fun again. A humorous experience. And it's so different from your real world experience that it still provides that escapism and you're empowered as a player. Because all of the characters are locked into this terrible system that they're living in. But you exist outside of that, so you are able to come in and make the choices that you want to make. And again, and this is the last bit I'll cover about this. But so, you're not pressured from above to cover or avoid particular topics. The fact this even comes up in gaming stuff saddens me deeply. But again, no, absolutely not. Tom and Leonard are really cool. They have a message that they want to convey, and it's my job to bring that to life. But then also introduce some of the things that personally interest me or I've experienced and I bring to the table. Because the writing team is so diverse, the type of things that they think about are funny and evocative. We each bring that, and I think that brings a really interesting mix. The fact that we have to talk about this full stop is frustrating. Let's just talk about what looks like a cool game. Let's just talk about that. But no, we have to bring these things in. But when you get somebody that just talks about it in such a way that obviously it's not an issue for them, because they're just making something that's cool and something that's fun and that I hope people are going to enjoy, and will then eventually grow into something that we can enjoy for a long period of time, that will become a franchise. That's all they want, is for us to enjoy this world they've created. And isn't that really refreshing, just great thing to read? Now, it carries on. There's more going on about Obsidian creating games that are known for being a little buggy. That is very true. And apparently that's a thing of the past. As I say, it carries on for a decent chunk more. And it's well worth a read. But it's just those 3 questions really just got me thinking. And I'm so pleased and so happy to see that there is still people in entertainment that understands that is meant to be how it is. So yeah, this is a real positive one. I'm not moaning about, stuff. I'm actually super happy. This is really cool. So yeah, I'd say definitely read the article. I'm super pleased there are still people like Megan kicking it in gaming. Gives me hope. Less Anita Sarkeesians, more Megan Starks, please. And the world will be definitely a better place. Anyway, that is me done, ladies and gentlemen. Have an amazing day. And I'll talk to you all later.